A teacher of the law stood up, intending to test Jesus with a challenging question. He looked at Jesus intently and asked, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" Jesus, in turn, asked him, "What is written in the law? How do you read it?" The man thoughtfully replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind." He continued, "And love your neighbor as yourself." These were the core commandments. Jesus affirmed his answer, saying, "You have answered correctly. Do this, and you will live." However, the man, wanting to justify his own actions, pressed further. He looked at Jesus again and asked, "And who exactly is my neighbor?" To illustrate his point, Jesus began to tell a parable, a story for them all. He spoke of a man traveling alone, journeying down the winding road from Jerusalem to Jericho. Suddenly, a group of ruthless robbers ambushed him, appearing from the roadside. They violently stripped him of his clothes, beating him severely and leaving him for dead. The man lay there, severely injured and barely clinging to life, abandoned by the roadside. By chance, a Jewish priest was also traveling down that very same road, walking with purpose. When the priest saw the wounded man, he deliberately crossed to the other side of the road. He passed by, offering no help, continuing on his way without a glance back. Next, a Levite, another religious figure, came to the same spot. Approaching cautiously, he paused, went over to the injured man, and looked at him closely, assessing the situation. But like the priest, he too chose to walk by on the opposite side of the road, leaving the man. Then, a Samaritan, a person often despised by the Jews, traveled along the road. As he drew near, he saw the suffering man lying there, helpless and in pain. A wave of deep compassion washed over the Samaritan. His heart went out to the stranger. He immediately dismounted and approached the man, kneeling beside him with concern. The Samaritan carefully poured soothing olive oil and cleansing wine onto the man's wounds. He then gently bandaged the injuries, doing his best to provide comfort and care. With great effort, he lifted the injured man onto his own donkey, supporting him carefully. He led the donkey slowly to a nearby inn, ensuring the man's journey was as comfortable as possible. At the inn, the Samaritan continued to look after him, tending to his needs throughout the night. The next morning, before continuing his journey, the Samaritan took out 2 silver coins. He handed the money to the innkeeper, making a clear request for the man's continued care. "Take care of him," the Samaritan instructed, "and whatever more you spend on him, I will repay you when I return this way," he promised, showing his genuine commitment. After finishing the story, Jesus turned to the teacher of the law and asked a direct question. "Which of these 3 men do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man attacked by robbers?" The teacher of the law, recognizing the truth, answered, "The one who showed him mercy." Jesus then looked at him and commanded, "Go and do likewise, follow his example."